Hi and Assalamualaikum. So my group will present about the business account report from Baked by Nikki. Okay. So my group member is NAJWA binti Nik Muhammad MAHARIS, Yusrina Syakirah binti Muhammad YUSOF, ZIERA SHAFIQA binti ZAMZURI, and Miss Siti Nur AUNI FAKHIRA binti Muhammad SUHAIMI. Okay. I will start from the content of this presentation, which is background, business characteristic, classification of item in the business, recording process, strengths and weaknesses of this business. So, I will start from the background of this business. Baked by Nikki is the business that been established from 2019. This business is the business that being run by one person. All the management and all the process of selling and buying of the goods inside the business is being managed by its owner itself, and they use the social media as their main platform to promote their product to the customer.
Okay. Assalamualaikum. My name is Yusrina binti Muhammad YUSOF. So I will continue for the business characteristic. So for the first one is sole proprietorship. Baked by Nikki is the business that doing small business based on home baking and owned by one person. The business is managed and controlled by the owner, Nikki. In this business, she used her ability to bake lasagna and aim in the compound area. The business also targeted on pasta lover, working adults, relatives, and also friends nearby. The customer segment that have been chosen by the business is to improve the business growth unconsciously. So, for the second business characteristic in Baked by Nikki is profit and loss. Profit in this business is belong to Nikki, and any loss borne by Nikki. Only she will take the responsibility on the activity that will take risk on her business. Okay, so for the third characteristic is the capital of this business. Baked by Nikki's, or we known as the sole proprietorship, will contribute the capital by the owner, that is Nikki herself, even though at the same time the owner of the sole proprietorship business has due to the limitation to expand the business by raising additional capital. So another characteristic of Baked by Nikki is consumer satisfaction. The satisfaction of the consumer, or in the simple word is the customer, can be seen in the feedback that has been given by them. Nikki is the wise businesswoman that used social media as the platform for her to promote the business. By social media, she also posts and show the feedback that was being given by her customer. From that, customer for another segment will know about her product and put high trust in having Baked by Nikki's lasagna. Last but not least, legal and lawful is one of the business characteristics for Baked by Nikki. Nikki has having SSM certificates, that one of the certificate that need to be provided and must to be provided by all of the business in Malaysia. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
Hello and Assalamualaikum. My name is NAJWA binti Nik Muhammad MAHARIS. My ID number is 2021-899-042. Okay, for today I would like to explain about classification of business items. There are 5 business items in Baked by Nikki business, which is asset, owner's equity, liabilities, and also revenue and expenses. For the non-current asset, Baked by Nikki has oven, spatula, cooking pan, and vehicles. For the current asset, Baked by Nikki has cash in hand and bank and inventory. Why cash in hand? Because when the owner make a delivery, the customer requests the owner to purchase it in terms of cash on delivery. So that's why Baked by Nikki has cash in hand for their current asset. And why bank? Because after receive all the money, the owner will bank in the total of the money for the whole week into the bank. So that's why bank is also current asset for this business. And inventory, as you know, all business has their own inventory, so that's why Big by Nikki also has their own inventory. Okay, for the next one is liability. Big by Nikki has purchased on credit to buy their goods, so that's why they have current liabilities, which is account payable. Okay, for the third one is owner is equity. The owner, which is Nikki, has brought in their vehicle, which cost 30,000 ringgit. So that is why capital is also recorded in this business. Okay, for the next one is revenue. Why is revenue? Because Big by Nikki has collect order and then they gain sales. With that sales, revenue is recorded. Okay, for the next one is expenses, which is the last business items classification for this business. Why classification? Because Big by Nikki has purchase of goods for their cooking, and then they have to pay for the car fuel, which is when they deliver the products, the lasagna to their customer. They have to fill it up, their fuel, to make a delivery. And electricity is also their expenses, because Big by Nikki use oven for their cooking purpose, so that's why the owner has to pay for the electricity. Last but not least, free gift and drawings is also recorded in this business. Why drawing? Because Big by Nikki has took out around 50 ringgit for their personal use. And the last one is free gift. Big by Nikki has made a free gift to their customer who purchased 2 pieces and above for their lasagna. The owner give their customer batik cake and bread pudding to the customer. That is why free gift is also recorded as expenses for the business. Okay, so I will continue recording process for Big by Nikki transaction. Big by Nikki has started their first transaction, which is October 5. This business has purchased goods worth 179 ringgit by cash, and the second transaction was inventory of bakery goods worth 1,500 were purchased on credit. Okay, on the third transaction is cash sales worth 120 to Yusrina, and the fourth transaction was purchase oven worth 3,000 from Senhang Group. Okay, for the first transaction, what is the account has to be debit and credit. Okay, for the first one, purchase goods worth 179 ringgit by cash, so debit purchases, credit cash, because the owner buy the goods by cash. For the 7th October, inventory of bakery goods worth 1,500 were purchased on credit. So purchases will be debit and then account payable will be credit, because the owner bought the goods by credit. And the third one was cash sales worth 120 to Yusrina. So debit cash and debit sales. Why? Because the product were sold to Yusrina, so sales debit, and it was cash, so cash debit, because we received the cash. Okay, for the first transaction was purchase oven worth 3,000 from Senhang shop, so debit oven and credit bank. So I will pass the next transaction to my friends. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hello, so I will continue for the 5th transaction, that is on 12th October. Okay, the detail is Nikki brought in his own vehicle worth 30,000 ringgit into the business. So debit transaction will be vehicle 30,000 and credit transaction will be capital 30,000. Okay, so for the 15th October, the detail is written oven worth 1,500 ringgit from Shanghai because of damaged goods. So debit transaction will be bank 1,500 ringgit. Credit transaction will be oven 1,500 ringgit. Okay, so for the transaction on 19th October, that is paid water and electricity bills 100 ringgit by cash. So the transaction will be debit is the water and electricity 100 ringgit and credit will be cash 100 ringgit. Okay, so for the next transaction is on 21st October, that is make a free gift worth 20 ringgit on cash. Okay, so debit transaction will be free gift 20 ringgit and credit will be cash 20 ringgit. So I will pass for the next transaction to my friends. Thank you.
Okay, continue to the transaction 23 of October. Credit sale worth 150. Debit for account receivable 150 and sale for credit 150. For 26 October, Nikki took 50 ringgit goods from the business for personal use. Debit drawing for 50 ringgit and credit bank 50 ringgit. 31 of October, the business paid a check for 1,500 ringgit to its supplier. Debit account payable 1,500 and credit bank 1,500.
Next, we are going to discuss about the strengths and weaknesses in a recording process in accounting. The recording process of company transaction from source document is the first step in the recording process. However, there are few pros and cons that happens in every organization. Firstly, accessible reference. As a human, we tend to forget things, especially large information. But if we keep all the transaction in one place, we can avoid all the circumstances. It also can help owner to record all the financial transaction in respectively year systematically in book of accounting. Secondly, the strength of recording process is comparison of result. It's easy to equate all the financial performance of one and another year since the accounting process provides all the information in one place. This also can make a company to be keener to achieving targets for another year. Thirdly, the strength of recording process is decision making. It's easy for management to make a decision when there are proper recording of a transaction, since the recording process provide all the accounting information such as bills, receipts, and so on. Since these systems designed to record all currently identified and estimable costs, it can make a company plan their future activities, make budget, and coordinate various of activities in the future. On the other hand, there are also the weaknesses in a recording process, such as expresses accounting information in terms of money. In book of account, non-financial transactions are not allowed. For instance, the owner cannot bring an inventory that has no value into the company. Only financial transactions are measured by the accountant. Secondly, the recording process of accounting information is based on estimate. Some accounting information is depend of assumption. For example, depreciation of inventory is based of assumption. As a result, estimation may be inaccurate. Lastly, the recording process of accounting information may be biased. Accountants' personal accounting record may have an impact on the entity accounting record. For example, the accountant using different methods of depreciation, inventory valuation, and capital expenses. As a result, profit may be inaccurate.